when she went through re-election to be a judge was Brian Steele. You think she was early on? The reason why that judge didn't get also had to recuse herself is that it was right under the limit. That judge was angry at the prosecutor, reamed them out in open court.
Let's just do this real quick. In open court is a legal term in the United States defined by the appearance by a party or their attorney in a public court session, such as during a public trial. Normally, the public may be present at trials, hearings, and similar routine matters. So let's understand this. So open court would include the jurors. She never did that. Glanville did that, and then you lied on Glanville. So I'm not gonna spare academics on this one. I'm not gonna insult him or anything like that. That's the homie. But when the homie get it wrong, it's on me to be like, let me bring you back in, because what you're spreading to the people is factually wrong. Let's go further. I really want to dig into this real quick. I've been wanting to do this for a minute. I completely scrapped the video we were going to do because I've seen Vlad interview academics, and academics are just flat out wrong on like 85% of the things he said. So let's just go ahead and take a backstory look into what happened during the election season of 2022 for Paige Reese Whitaker and Allison Pitts. So, in March 2022, a person in Fulton County, Georgia, emailed me to express concerns about the former Fulton County Magistrate Judge Allison Pitts running for a Fulton County Superior Court Judge position against incumbent Fulton County Superior Court Judge Paige Reese Whitaker. This person had read my StopAbusiveLaws.com website, which details how in 2015, Allison Pitts, when she was a family court magistrate judge hearing protective order cases, behaved in a rude, unprofessional manner toward petitioners, their attorneys, and toward security staff in the courtroom, denying some petitioners protective orders despite overwhelming evidence in issuing willy-nilly protective orders against others who were in fact victims. Our reporter, Judge Allison Pitts' reprehensible behavior to Georgia's Judicial Qualifications Commission, JQC, resulted in their acknowledgement that Pitts did indeed violate Georgia state law regarding the time period that restricted the issuances of protective orders. Unfortunately, JQC did not acknowledge the fact that Pitts also broke the law governing the requirements of protective orders when she refused to issue an arrest warrant against my brother, Ken, Pastor Max Parks, for his violation of the protective order my husband and I obtained against him. My brother continued to possess firearms, and he continued to publish alarming, threatening statements on his social media accounts against us. Clear violations of the terms of the protective order we obtained against him. More details about this 2015 incident are found at, we won't even do all that. After I received an email from Fulton County, Georgia resident, I searched online, found both Allison Pitts' campaign website and Judge Paige Reese Whitaker's campaign website. Pitts' website used religious jargon and endorsements from religious leaders to promote herself as somehow qualified to be a Superior Court judge. My husband and I read her religious jargon with utter disgust, and we couldn't help but find similarities between her and my brother Ken, Pastor Max Parks' use of religious jargon so as to play off of people's religious sensitivities in order to falsely promote themselves, deliberately deceiving the public about who and what they really are. In stark contrast, Paige Reese Whitaker's campaign website was professional and cited her actual accomplishments. Her endorsements were fellow judges and attorneys and non-attorneys who had their cases heard before Paige Reese Whitaker. After reviewing all this information, I emailed Judge Reese Whitaker's campaign staff, and I shared them with the Judicial Qualifications Commission's letter that cited Pitts' violation of law, and I expressed my concerns about Pitts abusing her power and damaging more innocent victims if she were to become a Superior Court judge. A member of Paige Reese Whitaker's campaign responded to my contact and assured me that Judge Reese Whitaker's campaign staff would do all they could to inform the voters of Fulton County of the JQC's determination against Pitts. The member of Judge Reese Whitaker's campaign also told me that for some years, a number of people have raised concerns about Pitts' behavior on the bench and that Pitts does not have a good reputation in the legal community. The attorney who presented our complaint to Judge Pitts in 2015 regarding my brother's violation of the protective order we had against him also unexpectedly reached out to us to inform us that flyers were being sent to Fulton County voters that included the JQC's letter regarding Allison Pitts' violation of state law and how it impacted us. Our former attorney told us that the incumbent Fulton County Superior Court Judge, Paige Reese Whitaker, is good people and that she has a good reputation as fair, knowledgeable, and competent judge. So we were very pleased when the Fulton County, Georgia, May 2024 election results showed us that Judge Reese Whitaker had won about 65% of the vote against Allison Pitts. My husband and I sent our congratulations to Judge Reese Whitaker's campaign staff, and we expressed our relief that Allison Pitts was prevented from becoming a Superior Court judge who would undoubtedly detrimentally impact innocent victims like we were when we appeared before her in court in 2015. Our message to Allison Pitts: it is possible for you to step back and recognize, even in some small way, the irreparable damage you've done to innocent people who sought your help, only to be met with your apathy, your unprofessionalism, and your unethical and blatantly unjust behavior on the bench. Justice is a human need. We fully recognize that being a judge in a large city like Atlanta is challenging, to say the least, but this fact cannot excuse your troubling behavior. In our 2015 case before you, you violated our most basic human rights to live in peace without fear of threats. We saw you violate others' rights and peace and safety safety too, Our advice to you: take a sabbatical from the bench or from legal profession. Get some professional counseling to pinpoint why it is you could reduce yourself to behave in such a reprehensible, cold-hearted manner and degenerate the judicial profession in front of thousands of people who have needed your help in the wrongs done. Well, we ain't reading all that. Oh, I kind of want to get rid of a couple of illustrations that's being painted against Paige Reese Whitaker. So let's just go back and start to see what kind of happened. We're not going to do the 13-minute read because, first off, that ain't necessary. We only need the top parts real quick. So this is what Paige Reese Whitaker said: I'm the only candidate who has been elected as a judge, the only candidate who has served as a judge in a court of record with authority to conduct jury trials, and the only candidate who is a current sitting Fulton County Superior Court judge, said incumbent Judge Paige Reese Whitaker of the Atlanta Judicial Circuit. Experience matters, and my experience is proven. A part-time Fulton County Juvenile Court judge is campaigning to replace a sitting Superior Court judge. Atlanta attorney Allison R. Pitts has challenged incumbent Paige Reese Whitaker for a seat on the Fulton Superior Court bench in the May 24 primary nonpartisan election. Whitaker qualified for the Atlanta Judicial Circuit race on March 7, remaining unopposed until Pitts qualified 2 days later. Now, this is the read that I just want to give y'all real quick. All right. Appointed by Governor Nathan Deal in February 2017, Whitaker joined the Fulton Superior Court bench to fill a vacancy created by the retirement of Jerry W. Baxter. Voters elected to keep Whitaker on the bench in the May 2018 general election. During her 5 years as trial judge, Whitaker has presided over felony criminal cases, civil suits, equity cases, and divorce and family matters. Prior to becoming judge, Whitaker practiced as a civil litigator. I don't know why I just said litigator. Sorry. Maybe Whitaker and litigator being right there. I don't know. As a civil litigator, a prosecutor of an appellate lawyer, serving 6.5 years as a Fulton Deputy District Attorney, and more than 14 years as a Senior Assistant Attorney General for the Georgia Attorney General's Office. Whitaker also garnered some appellate experience after being designated to serve in place of then Superior Court of Georgia Justice David E. Naimus in appeal of Holt versus Ebinger before the Superior Court of Georgia in December 2017. Now, I'm not going to read the rest because isn't that eerily similar to her being inserted for who? Judge Earl Glanville. But let's go. So, what I would say to your man Akademiks, my guy Akademiks, the homie, is you're flat out wrong. First off, you cannot be the biggest donor anyways. They're not allowing that. That's why they only let you give so many plates, so many things. You literally have terms on how much a person can donate. When you look at somebody like Fani Willis, right, when she was going against Paul Howard, the same people that donated to Paul Howard donated to Fani Willis. The problem with people like academics is y'all don't have the time to deep dive. You don't. So you didn't deep dive this situation. Because had you did that, then you would have found out that the opposing judge was hated. When you whoop somebody by 65% of the votes, now the other person only literally does 35% and they so happen to be black and running religious campaigns and stuff like that and everything, you gotta ask yourself, why wouldn't they elect? Now, some people will get on here and go, oh, well, it's not supposed to be a black and white thing. Right. True. But we don't live in a magical world. So, what ended up happening is all those bad deeds and bad vibes and bad press that Judge Pitts had came back to bite her right there on the heels. That's what happened. That's how Paige Reese Whitaker got in her spot as far as keeping it. She was better qualified. She was the better judge. She didn't have the smut on her name. So, no, Brian still didn't pay off her. Because at the end of the day, that's what lawyers do. They learn the judges. They learn how to do whatever they do. They learn to sway. But don't get it mixed up or confused. You said a bunch of falsehoods in there. First off, he no prost. Meaning he was able to basically get off of his stuff. If you've been paying attention to the case, Donovan Thomas murder was not going to be attributed to Young Thug. It just wasn't. Thug did the best thing he could have did, and I think it was the right thing to do, and that's get the hell up out of there. Go home. Your sister died while you were in jail. Your kids are talking about unaliving themselves. Well, one of your kids was, not a bunch of them. Your baby mama passed while you were in there. A whole bunch of stuff, man. You know, there's ailments attributed to some of his family members that he needs to see and be around. I won't put it further into the air who it is, but the family knows and people who know Lil Jeff knows. So he had to get up out of there, bro. And when you take a blind plea, it's up to the judge. The main reason why Young Thug went home, and he was always going to go home with time served, regardless of anything. But it's a simple thing. Everything that the DA was saying as far as the deal that he would have gotten, the deal, well, it's simple. They were going to release him home no matter what. The judge never got on their cases about the freaking, about the defense. She waited until the jurors were out of sight. That's something Glanville would have did. You wouldn't know that because you don't know that because you didn't have time to watch it all. You're doing 10-hour and 6-hour streams and stuff like that, so I doubt you were tapping in like that. You should have been, but hey, it is what it is. Your team definitely watches the channel, but either way it goes. So there's that part. And the reason that Glanville was kicked off, it wasn't because of the ex parte meetings. You can go back and read. It was how he handled it when his authority was challenged. That's why he got booted off. Because you can't do what he was doing. Somebody can't say, hey, you're wrong, and you blow up at him. I'm not wrong and all this stuff and everything like that. You're wrong and all this and all that. No, that's not the case. You can't do that. What you have to do is sit back, assess the situation, and let it go through its proper channels. He refused to do that. And at the end, when he did it, that's what ultimately screwed him. So once again, wrong and wrong again. But you still do a good job of what you do. But Vlad and Akademiks, I'm sorry. That conversation that y'all had was just a very unjust, very untrue conversation. And what it does is it taints people's thoughts because, once again, you're doing the same thing to Lil Durk. Y'all calling Lil Durk screwed over. Tell me really what you seen in that whole entire transcript that makes you say he's screwed. Is it the fact that the feds say code and language? Or is it the fact that if you were in business and you told people don't use your actual debit card or no stuff like that, and you work for my company, use the company card? But hey, it's going to play out. But share to keep your people aware. Let the outro.
Yeah, man, we just hit 200K. We on our way to 300, man. Subscribe today so you can find out how you can win an Xbox or a PlayStation, man. The details are on the way.
This is how you know somebody is literally going to be in the drawing. Robin Minter, check him out, man. All we do is go down and we look and we see his subscriptions. Who does he have? He has Seti Nash right here. What also happens, take that off. Top commenter. That right here, public subscriber. So that's what you got to do, and make sure you share each video, and then you'll be entered to win. Shout out to Mike. Good luck.
Subscribe, turn that bell, stay notified, and share to keep your people aware. I'll catch you on the next one.